I have to ask about your sister. Your sister just wrote a children's book.
She did.
It's coming out soon, if not already.
It hit this today. Yeah, it came out today, I believe. It's really cool stuff. And she had one of my sons, Dom, was the illustrator for it. That hits the stands, I believe, today. They did a big book opening in Seattle today. The Kraken are behind it. I've seen it. It's pretty cool. I know some of the characters in the book. So I was pretty excited. She's been wanting to do this for a long time. The Kraken have kind of helped her organize it, and now that I got a granddaughter, I got a new book to read my granddaughter. So it's pretty cool.
Are you and your brothers some of the characters in that book?
Yes, it's a family thing. Okay. Yeah, but it's just a story of a young aspiring girl that wanted to play hockey that was basically shifted over to the figure skating rink and eventually gets to play hockey. So it's a nice story.
Played Ohio State not too long.
Yep.
So there's a lot of fresh memories about what playing that team is like. What if you get into a situation where you're playing the same kind of game in the third period? What do you think you can do to close those out this time?
Well, I want to play the same way. I thought that was a great weekend for us. I think we were running on fumes towards the end of both of those games because of the week that we had prior to. That was our COVID week. But I think, that's a first place team right now because of how they played. They're good. They're deep. Their goaltenders are really good. They haven't quite been as good on the PK as you would expect for a first place team, but they got a lot going for them. So, we want to play them the same way we played them. We were in the position to win both games. We lose the one in overtime and lost the other one late in the game. We should have some confidence knowing that we can compete and play with them. And again, it's making plays and executing when the game's on the line, and it's being smart and it's staying, disciplined in the times we need to. I think that against Michigan, there were key situations of that series where we let Michigan skill, we exposed ourselves to let Michigan skill come in to be the factors in the games. But, Saturday's game, and I know you asked me about Ohio State, but I'm referring to the Michigan series, is we were in, there were lots of opportunities in that game for us to take control of. And when we did have those chances to do that, we either took a penalty or gave them some sort of life. And when you give a great talented team life, there's a good chance they might hurt you with it. And so I think it goes carrying into the Ohio State series too. It's going to have to be the same thing. I think they got a 4-line team that each line, brings something to the table. And so we got to respect that. We're in a position now as we wind down the season, we got to salvage something out of it that's positive. Right now, the last 2 weeks, it stings. Some 6 weeks before that were pretty good. So we got to get back on track and finish strong and set ourselves up for to be in the right frame of mind heading into playoffs. I think that's the most important thing right now.
The pulse of the team right now, what is it?
We're banged up right now. We're wounded. I mean, let's face it, we lost a lot of players over the weekend that might not be able to play this weekend, and you don't win games. You feel, you're a little puppy dog when you walk in the room. So we're trying to get the spirits back up. We're trying to get excited about playing again this weekend and getting back on track. That's my job as coach, and it's captains and leaders of the room to do the same thing. And like I said, it's there's a few weeks left in the regular season that we want to salvage something out. It doesn't mean we have to go 6-0, but it means we have to compete each game and be hard to play against and get back to having the identity that we had for the month of December and January, most of January.
First periods have been tough for you all season, in terms of haven't gotten a lot of leads. Been 0-0 a lot of times, but if you get a better result for the good starts you've had, there's been a lot of good positive play in the first few shifts of the game, but they haven't always turned into goals. How do you work through that and maybe just kind of continue that good play into that fourth and fifth shift and beyond?
Two things. One, you want to carry, even if you don't score, you want to carry that momentum that you've created into the next shift and the shift after and build off of that. And two, when things aren't going well, so the opposite of that, you want to end that faster. In the last 2 weeks, we haven't been able to do that. When the other team got up and going a little bit, we got back on our heels and didn't end their momentum. when we had our momentum in both series, you can go back to the Penn State series, you go score bang, bang. Well, all of a sudden we get them on their heels. We're down 3-2 at the start of the third period instead of 3-0. We're coming at bang, bang. We get 2 penalties and we give them a chance to get the momentum back fast. So there's the 2 indicators for me, is sustaining that energy and momentum when we have it and ending it faster when we don't. And I think, when we were playing well and things were going well, and just like any team, you identify those situations in a game, and your line or your group that's going over the boards knows, okay, this is a big shift for us, either to carry the momentum our way or to end what they've started to, on how they started to take the game over. And I think that's where we can be better as well.
How difficult is it to get back to that identity like you want to for the last few weeks of the season?
I don't think it's difficult. I think it's more the mindset now, from the standpoint that this lineup that we're going to play with this weekend is going to have a few of our key pieces not in it, which again should pull the guys together and be excited about the chance, the new lines, the new combinations, the new guys that are in the locker room that are able to play and be a part of it. I think we got to gain excitement off of that. And, I think the confidence that we had during that stretch is with it. We have it. It's just going out and executing and staying focused shift after shift. And, when you get in a game and the momentum starts going and you're not going well and you're tired and you're banged up a little bit, sometimes it's harder to get that back. But I think, going into a weekend where, Ohio State, again, they're playing for first place. We know we have to be sharp and have to play well, and so it's better to play a team like that than play a team that's struggling or not going well. So I'm excited. I'm optimistic. It's another chance for our team to grow. We did great things during the first half of the year to grow to get to where we were just after Christmas. Now we got to go back to that mentality of small steps forward, and that this is an opportunity to do that.
A guy like Sam Stang scored 5 or 6 out in practice today. A guy that hasn't had that kind of luck in games. You feel like there's something coming?
Well, I have for a while now. I have since Christmas with Stanger, and I've asked him to play center. I've moved him around on lines a little bit, but Sam Stang, let's face it, he's a big part of our future, and our we got to help him grow and develop, and I got to keep trying to find ways to get his confidence back. So when those practice habits carry over into game, we got something special. And we know that he knows that he's a strong, skilled, power type of forward that has so many assets that translate into successful, being successful and being productive. And that production hasn't matched up with that yet. So the habits that you see in practice that he's continuing to, work on, eventually have to carry through into the game. But I'm glad you saw that, pointed that out. I mean, he was outstanding, and he has been. And in the games, then it's just a little bit tight, and it's not coming as smooth as the practices are. But he's going to stick with it, and hopefully this is a weekend where he doesn't have to get 5 or 6, but just find a way to help us win.
It's one that breaks the seal for him, right? And
Sure, absolutely, yeah. And Brownie, you saw Brownie. We got Brownie at center. It's going to give him a little bit more, a chance to use his offensive skill, and I think that's exciting. Obviously missing Bakes in the middle is going to he's a big piece of our team. Let's face it, power play, penalty kill captain, gets a lot of responsibility, and this will give other guys a chance to have a little bit more of an impact on the game in different ways.